I'm going to sit up here like Bill Belichick at a press conference and not say a word until somebody speaks to me. I'm going to be about as enthused as Bill Belichick at a press conference. The misfits are dead and gone. Forget about them, people. It's over. Finito. No more misfits. The days are gone. Who's the cookie cutter king? That's a good one. I'll let you decide. Edgar Gonzalez, the channel I work for. My relationship with Christ, working on it daily, Real Tev. That's the only relationship that matters. Everything else falls into place once you got that squared away. Tips, Mickey, get off that night shift. I was looking into a job in corrections, but because they rotate shifts so much and there's so many night shifts, I don't want to disrupt my circadian rhythms. So I would get off the night shift as soon as possible. It wreaks havoc on your body. But I did do night shift doing security for several years, and I went home, went right to sleep. I would get up and then train, but it's not optimal. Shout out to Harold Betterson. It's your 72nd what? Your birthday? You're 72 years young. Congrats. Family's hanging in there. I did away with the mustache. I got tired. The razors were eating into my budget too much, so I had to grow the beard back. So I only have to shave here and then the neck. I'm not privy to this information, Knight Rider. He says, Lee Priest is a weasel. Inform me. I'm out of the loop. Why is Lee Priest a weasel? He's got a leg up in my book because he likes cats. What peptides don't shut down your tests? I don't know that peptides affect your testosterone. Most of them are for healing. You got your healing peptides, your BPC 157. And there's a TB something or other. And then the other ones are like growth hormone secretagogues from what I remember. But I don't think you're thinking of SARMs. But Rad 140 is a SARM I took, and it shut my test down. But God knows what's in any of that stuff when you get a hold of it. Thanks, Brandon. I'm glad I can motivate you. Hope you're still going strong with it. What'd you do for neck, OG Ghost? The Big Lenny harness? Harold Betterson wants to know my thoughts on men doing yoga. It has its place for mobility, flexibility. I did about 10 sessions of hot yoga back in 2007. There was the gal that I was living with and dating. She was big into yoga, and she bought them for me right after my hernia surgery. I was the only guy in there, very inflexible. The Brazilian instructor got a laugh out of it. But once the session was over and they were laying there and chanting or, saying namaste, whatever, I was up and out of there. But it's good, Some of the poses aren't for everybody. Like me, I have that arch in my lower back, so I don't think cobra poses is beneficial because I'm already in that position of, extension of the lower back. So not everything is compatible with every body type. I will say that. It's never easy, Phil. This is the second Mother's Day without my mom, but thanks for asking. But I saw my dad and my nieces and my brother. We had dinner together. Just got to, like the cookie cutters say, you got to take it one day at a time. It'll never be the same without mom, but it's something the vast majority of us is going to have to deal with. Tadalafil can mess up your vision and you can go blind, maybe temporarily. I don't know. Everything's got side effects, people. Some you notice, some are years in the making, like the plaque that built up in my arteries, and I had no symptoms and still don't. Yeah, I'm celibate going on October. Wait, November will be 2 years. Knight Rider said he let the secret out about Dave's divorce and blamed Valentino and talked crap about Larry and Armand. Then, when confronted, cried about it. Who's Larry and Armand? Where's the gals? I don't know. You tell me. Nice. Lenny doling out the helpful information on the neck training. My bench is terrible these days. Today I did incline dumbbells, set of 13, and then I did the bench with this block that they have there. Supposedly saves your shoulders. I did like 225 with the block, a narrow grip for 12. I'm taking a nosedive, people. Mid-40s, it's catching up with me. No more white gals on my radar. I think I've finally thrown in the towel. Do I have any Muslim friends? I used to have one. He was from Iraq. Real nice guy. His wife cooked for me, and he had 2 little kids. He's around here. I haven't spoken to him in years, but other than him, no, that's about it. Good for you, PJ. Keep it going. 1 more year left at law school. Being celibate mean you don't romance yourself? Well, I'll get into details for you because I'm on a new medication for excessive nighttime urination. It's called celibacy. It's a generic for. It's not a prostate med, but it relaxes the blood vessels in the bladder and the surrounding area. But I haven't looked at porn since I stopped before Ash Wednesday. It's the longest stretch since my teenage years, I'm proud to say. But yeah, I mean, self-pleasure, but I can't. It's weird, but the side effect of that medicine is you can't ejaculate. There's nothing comes out. So people are like, why don't they use it as birth control? But it's usually prescribed for older men with enlarged prostate to prevent them from nighttime peeing or that urge where you feel like you can't hold it, where you got to take a leak. But I got to say it's not working effectively. I'm still up twice a night. Ice baths or cold showers, I think, are overrated. The sauna is where it's at, Harold. Way better benefits on the brain and heart. What state do I plan on retiring in? Wherever the Lord wants me, road to 1,000's bench press. Thanks, Adam. He says, I look 35. I appreciate it. What do you mean by that, Luis? Still read fairy tales for adults books? What books do you read, my friend? Enlighten us here. Where's the truth if it isn't in the Bible? Well, my BPA, Michael, was like negligible when I got my blood work or PSA test. So I don't think it's my prostate. Just a weak bladder, I think, can cause it too. Could be enlarged prostate. I don't know. For most men, it's, you get up there in age, it's BPH. Prostate enlarges, so it pushes on the bladder. But I don't have the symptoms of where I can't like fully empty the bladder. I don't know. I think maybe I'm just drinking too much water close to bed. Imagine that, OG Ghost. They only have sex to procreate. Do I think Dale has my number on the bodybuilding stage? Maybe now. But I'm in my prime, I'd say no. Maybe, like I said, he had bigger legs, but not that my shape was the most aesthetic, but I think I have better shape than him, better lines, better just upper body. My legs came in condition. His legs would be bigger, but I don't know. He's got me on the stage now because I'm retired and I can't take gear anymore. And I'm probably more banged up than he is, even with all his car accidents. Cookie cutter bladder. That's it. My favorite Misfits episodes. I don't know. I can't name any off the top of my head. I don't go back and watch them ever. 365 max bench at 200 pounds. That's pretty good, yeah. Am I mad at Brad Murray for not inviting me to Dale's? I didn't even know he went to see Dale. Lenny and I are persona non grata to Brad. Best split I've used for my career. Probably when I grew the most and was at the strongest with Lenny was chest and tries, shoulders, traps and neck, back and buys, and legs back in the day. Top 3 favorite WWF wrestlers. That's it's more than 3. Definitely the Warlord and Barbarian. The Road Warriors were in there, so them. Ultimate Warrior. I liked Hercules. I liked what was the Canadian guy? He was involved with the mob, the Big Bencher. I can't think of his name. I liked him. Yeah, I'm not on Instagram. Going on 2 years. What happened to the dungeon workouts? Oh, it's a secret lair. Stefan switched to an every other day training, and he's got a different job now. So there was days during the week where I could go train there, and usually every Sunday, but now it's every other Sunday. But I had a stomach virus last week, so maybe this Sunday I'll go there, but very infrequent now. My future goals and plans are to delight myself in the Lord, and He'll give me the desires of my heart, whatever they may be, to grow in grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ. Yeah, I watched Dark Side of the Ring. The last one I watched was Sandman. Dino Bravo, yeah, that's it. Thoughts on Tyson Fury versus Usyk? Funny you mentioned that. I just watched a rerun of Tyson Fury versus Ngannou. I wasn't impressed with Tyson Fury. He never had Ngannou like hurt or on the ropes or anything like that. He allowed the guy in his first pro match to go 10 rounds, and he knocked him out. I would have given the fight to Ngannou, but I like Tyson Fury. But that was the first full fight I watched, and I wasn't impressed. Usyk is incredible footwork, but he's got the size disadvantage. But he's very technical. His footwork's amazing, but should be a good fight. But none of these guys are like Mike Tyson in their prime. He was the best I saw. Advice on dealing with extreme loneliness. Do you have friends? I mean, nobody I really hang out with regularly. I'm alone most of the time. I deal with it very well. I'm used to it. Take after like people on both sides of my family that just like kind of lived alone, kept to themselves. But go to church, go to you're there to learn the word of God, but you can fellowship and meet up with people. My old roommate used to do Facebook meetup, but he didn't seem to meet quality people there. He would complain about most of them. But I'm not lonely. I would, like I said, go to a church. Get out of your shell if you have a hard time approaching people and you want to meet people. But surely you have somebody to hang with. Like I have my family, when I train with Stefan, coworkers, I talk with them. But favorite Metallica songs, No Remorse, Creeping Death, Ride the Lightning, Kill 'Em All, the Kill 'Em All album. Don't Tread on Me. I think that's the name of it. I saw Metallica. It was the first concert I ever saw in '92 down in Miami. It was pretty good. Good show outdoors. Europa, The Last Battle. Jake Paul is a smart cookie cutter. He's well marketed. He's making money. Say what you will. Is he the one that's fighting Tyson, or is that his brother? I always get them mixed up. But yeah, they're cookie cutters. Like I said in the title of this video, there's a hardcore guy at the gym. He trains very hard. He's around my age, pro bodybuilder. I won't name him, but if you look at his Instagram, what he says, how he looks, his mannerisms, he's a cookie cutter. I did intense, impressive things, and now I'm a regular cookie cutter. I don't stand out anymore. Everybody ultimately becomes one or is one at some point in their lives. But when I was saying that, screaming it at people in the gym, I was elite. And I've thought about it lately. It's not arrogant. I was like doing elite things that I've yet to see anybody do. So, yeah, I called out people for being cookie cutters. But now here I am later in life, a nobody in the gym. Don't turn heads anymore. But it's all good. Now's the time for the relationship with Jesus Christ that I should have been having years and years ago. I don't really go to church that often. I do my own thing, my own study here. There's pastors I like that are really good teachers. You're not to forsake the fellowship of going to a church. That's a sin. And you have to take your communion. You have to examine yourself before you take the elements. But these churches around here, the teaching is so watered down compared to like what you can get online. Yeah, I regret not training for the 700-pound bench. I would have gone way further with that than bodybuilding. Thoughts on the drama on RX Muscle After Hours. I never watched that show, but somebody was briefing me on it earlier. Something with Lee Priest. I don't get caught up in that crap. I don't watch RX Muscle anymore. Since I found out about my heart, and I turned it off like that. I was watching all the bodybuilding channels on YouTube, getting into it again. But once everything stopped, I was like, I have no need to watch these channels anymore. I don't care about it. It's not the sport, if you can call it that. It's just what gets me is these guys that profess to be Christians shooting all those drugs in their body. You think that's God's plan for them? Or professing Muslim pumping drugs into his body to win a pageant. You can't convince me that that's God's plan for anybody. Yeah, Lenny's a cookie cutter now, just like I am. Just like Brad's been all along. You Gotta Be a Freak's the channel I work for. Yeah, that beautiful girl, Marcela Robles. She can come visit me anytime. That's right up my alley. Nice conservative Hispanic girl from the barrios of South America. Dan Almeida, how's the plan going? You getting leaner? Any questions, comments, concerns? If I could relive the wild times with Lenny, would I? No, it's funny you asked. I've been reflecting on it a lot lately. I wish I would have done things differently. Then it's nobody's fault but my own. Nobody, as a grown man, I made my own decisions. But live and learn. Putting all my eggs in one basket, I should have been getting a trade or learning an important skill in the medical field, something that's in demand still to this day, and I didn't. So now it's going to be a struggle for me till I die, but that's the punishment. Yeah, Boston Lloyd, he wasn't a cookie cutter. He was innovative in what he was showing on YouTube. I never met him, but everybody has some cookie cutter tendency. You can bank on it. Good man, Danny. Keep it up. Stick to the program. Let me know if you have any concerns or need any changes. That's a loaded question, Dr. Phil. How my life would be different if I didn't hang out with Lenny. Just got to be consistent, Danny. That's the key. Did Lenny hold me back from my full potential? No. A young Andrew Calora held me back from my full potential, and his demons and inadequacies and insecurities held him back. Yeah, it's ironic how it worked out, Chet. The bench press has me on here, and I could talk about the Lord Jesus Christ to whoever wants to listen. As the time draweth nigh. Lenny and I text often. I haven't actually had a conversation with him since after Rob Zilla passed last year. We like the haters in here, like Macho Freak 123. A hater's just an undocumented follower. I don't know. That's the scuttlebutt that Brad sold the gym equipment. I don't know. I've never been invited there. What's the wisest words of wisdom Lenny has ever told me? I said, Lenny, I want to get another tattoo. He said, don't waste your money. He said, my dad always told me, tattoo some muscle on your body. So that's it. Words of wisdom. Unlike a certain somebody that shall go nameless, he went in the opposite direction. My first cycle was actually in high school. I put on 90 pounds on my bench. I put on 20 pounds, and I didn't have a clue what I was doing. It was equipoise and Winstrol. My sprinting speed went up through the roof. But then I crashed almost immediately because it was such a short-acting ester. Even at that young age, I had like the flu symptoms. I'm a realist too, Macho Freak. I go through life expecting absolutely nothing from people, and sometimes I'm pleasantly surprised. I'm not a big numbers guy, quick pump, when I dieted. I couldn't tell you how many calories, carbs, or protein I had in the last show I did. I weighed things, but it's like, is it important really? I mean, if you're weighing it out, it's good to know the numbers and be meticulous, but if you're not leaning out and you're having like a cup of rice, you got to cut that, that cup to 3/4 of a cup. Or if you're doing 2 egg yolks, go down to 1. I don't have the patience to track things. I mean, that's good for people that do, but the first time I fell in love, I don't think I've ever been truly in love. Come to think about it, with a girl. Bootsy, when I saw Bootsy for the first time on my security job, and here I am with her almost 15 years later. Did Connor kill Leo? I don't know. Don't know much about that guy. That's a shady place. Thailand. All sorts of drugs and things you can get into. Something fishy about it. We'll never know. Thoughts on carnivore diet? It's a fad right now, just like keto or vegan. What's wrong with a balanced diet with a little bit of everything? Too restrictive. But some people swear by it, like Jordan Peterson said it cured his ailments, and Joe Rogan likes it, but I like eating everything. Different drugs, Danny. They're using. I don't think they used Tren in the 70s and 80s. Maybe they had Winstrol. I don't know. They're using way more drugs now. Maybe the culprits are, like Tren, Masteron, I'd say, Winstrol. I think they use different drugs. I think I took some G the first show I did, no 4, where I looked like crap. I wasn't ready, and I knew it. I wasn't in the top, wasn't going to win the class. So just to kind of loosen me up for the night posing routine. Pootie's still with us. She's doing good. She moves around good, sleeps, doesn't wake me up most of the time. I met Tony Huge how many times did I meet him? Just in Vegas. I mean, he's an interesting guy. He's articulate. He's an intelligent guy. Totally different lifestyle, than what I have. But he's, a lot in the Boston Lloyd mold, where he's doing things on YouTube and very open and transparent about everything, like Lenny. That's why people still respect Lenny. I would never do another cycle. Arthur, yeah. Take solace in your virginity. It's great to be pure. Sin is fun for a season, my friend. Yeah, my recovery's it's more like tendons and joints now. It's changed. So lighten the load, just Landor, more rest days if needed. Just being smarter, more instinctual, not pushing through things because you're not going to recover like, in my 20s. So, yeah, recovery's taking a big hit. What's the cartoon your kid watches, Sean? It teaches him to lie. I've never heard of bodybuilders taking ecstasy in a day of their show. Maybe, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what that's going to do to your appearance, like as far as vascularity, if it constricts your veins, which I heard it does. If I were to go back in time, would I join the military? Yeah, would have been a good option. I used to work with a guy. He did a couple tours of duty in Afghanistan. He was a Marine sharpshooter. Really quiet, didn't talk about it. And when he got out, he got the GI Bill and took full advantage of it. He's got a good job now, but he got paid to go to school, paid for the school. So, yeah. Any stories walking through the ghetto at Lenny? Just thankful we got out unscathed, walking through basically West Palm, downtown West Palm in the ghetto after we got off bouncing, and they made us leave for the night because we were G'd up, walking around there with a tank top. One time I was driving down the wrong side of the street, downtown West Palm, and the cops pulled us over, but I was quick on my feet for a rare occasion and got away with it. Don't want to say what I was doing or what we were doing there. Today, what I had a carton of egg whites, which was 50 grams of protein, spinach, some cheese, one whole organic free-range egg, oatmeal, blueberries with dark chocolate. I had half a bagel, half of Dave's Killer Bread. Then I went to the gym. I had a shake with a banana. And then I came home. What did I eat? Culver's. Double cheeseburger from Culver's. I had a coupon, buy one, get one free. Didn't want to pass that up. Then I went to the gym. I hit the heavy bag, 5 3-minute rounds on the bag. Did some cardio in the sauna. And then I ate chicken and rice and some spaghetti. And then my last meal was a Culver burger, double burger without the bun and a salad. So that's what I ate today. Grocery cost per week, I don't know. It's reasonable, a lot of egg whites, more chicken than red meat because it's cheaper. I'll get ground red meat for like the grass fed's like $3-4 a pound. I'll get that. Not much. I'm not spending a ton on food. Train 21 days and rest for 1 week. So 21 days on and then 7 off. I don't know. Has anybody ever done that, tested that to see if it's any better than the bro split or a push-pull legs? I wouldn't do it. Yeah, I put cinnamon, blueberries, sometimes cacao powder and chia seeds. Get a little fiber in there. All-time favorite food from McDonald's. I haven't eaten there in years. If I want a burger, I go to Culver's. Probably the quarter pounder. Jay crashed his mom's car this morning. His sleep apnea has gotten worse. Big J Masters, he doesn't have the CPAP. What's he doing driving his mom's car? Oh. 340 was my max body weight. That's right, Frank. Stay close to Christ too, my friend. Yeah, I saw bits and pieces of Tucker Carlson, Russia. And he said like the food was healthier and cheaper there, none of the crap that they put in the American food for some reason. How high was your cholesterol, Harold? Give me a number. Eat more avocados, get more fiber in your diet, more cardio. Cut out the refined sugars. You can cut out, most of the processed, like the white flour carbs, unless you're doing it post-workout. But I mean, if your diet's, heavy laden with those types of foods, could be an issue. But eat more good fats, do more cardio. Get in the sauna, do high-intensity cardio. That's great for the heart. Oh. I did trap bar deadlift Sunday. I have been doing deadlifts off the floor, but my back's been giving me issues. I probably shouldn't even be doing them off the floor, but I felt like it was doing them off the floor wasn't hurting my back as bad as rack deadlifts, which never used to hurt my lower back. So, yeah, I've had multiple echocardiograms, stress tests. I pass them, but they see changes in the blood flow always. So that's when it leads them to say, oh, there's probably a problem with your heart. So that's when I went for the cardiac cath, and I discovered all the plaque that I have in there. A 3-year-old child can't understand Christ. They don't have the capacity. There's an age of accountability for kids. I mean, they probably go to little Bible schools, little kids like that, and they sing songs, but they don't truly comprehend Christ. Thanks, Chet. Appreciate it. Future goals? I don't know. I'm not very ambitious. as I said earlier, is to grow in grace and knowledge of Jesus Christ. Once that's, hammered away and squared away, then everything else falls into place, real Delmar. What caused the plaque? Performance enhancement drug use, first and foremost. 2, I'd say genetic predisposition. 3, diet, in that order. And I had, years of unmedicated high blood pressure, high cholesterol. So that's what destroyed the arteries. The cholesterol goes in to patch it up, and then it hardens and becomes the plaque. And that's what I have today, which is like hardened and calcified. Jesus was a carpenter. He did manual labor, ski mask. And they walked a lot back then. They ate better diets. That BPC 157 peptide, I don't know, maybe I didn't take it correctly. It didn't do anything for me in 2018. Look at that. Sprinting, excellent. Just make sure your feet and ankles are up to snuff before you do it. You don't want to screw those up. My feet and ankles are giving me issues these days. But sprinting is great. Great cardio. Perfect, interval training. How do I keep my faith in Christ when things are going bad? Just rely on the promises of the Bible and think of, a lot of the stories, especially like in the Old Testament. Things may look bleak. I mean, look at Christ on the cross. But in the end, God's plan is perfect. It'll be revealed in its time. And, just rely on all things work together for good for those that love Christ, for those that are called according to his pre-designed purpose. And you draw near to God, and he'll draw near to you. Yeah, I'm on 2 blood pressure meds, 2 cholesterol meds, Plavix, and a baby aspirin. Is plaque reversible? I haven't seen any literature that says it is. Some say a vegan diet may do it, like a whole food plant-based diet, but it's really not solid evidence behind that. My blood pressure after my hernia surgery in the hospital was 220 over 110. How could God take people like Rob Zilla but leave people like the conservative Cuban? What a thing to say. Yeah, we're not meant to understand it. It'll be revealed in heaven. But I'm a firm believer God gives people, we'll never know, Rob, certain warning signs, especially if they're taken at a young age. Like my oldest brother was taken at 37. But I knew what things were going on in his life personally before he was killed. So I'm like, and I know for a fact you get little warning signs like me with my health. So imagine me if I kept going and going, and here I croak at 44, 45 years old. People say, oh, Andrew died so young. But no, Andrew had multiple warning signs from God, medical issues that he should have listened to and said, hey, you're going in the wrong direction. So I think for like adults, when you get little kids, like the mass shooting in Connecticut, that's a different story. I don't know how you can attempt to explain something like that. But people that die young, I'm a firm believer there's warning signs are ignored, warning, discipline from God that they ignore. Daryl Van Meter, thanks for the $5. Wants advice for his friend Dave. He's a porn and IPA addict. What is that, a beer? He'll have a couple of beers and hop on his ride and mow the weeds he calls his lawn. Dave, that's not God's plan for you to be sucking down beers and looking at porn. You're it's like the verse says, "Don't get drunk with wine, for that's dissipation." I don't know if he's a believer or not. Either way, it's not God's plan for him. So, and it's a waste of time. Porn, drinking beer. It's horrible if he saw his like liver values the next day after drinking beer. Not good. He's probably suppressing something. He's not doing those things because he's living, a fulfilled life. I could attest to that. There's, issues. So, got to get to a good Bible-based church, Dave. Fellowship with some older men that have been Christians for a while. That's my advice. I think a lot of chaos is going to be happening in the world in the next couple of months. Bad weather. I think a major hurricane or two is going to hit. And, we're in election season here in the U.S., so things, people will be rioting, I'm sure, one way or the other, regardless of who wins. We're in the end times, Danny. I'm not an optimist. I don't care who's elected here. Thanks for the $2, Quick Pump. A message for Misfit Maniac Marcella. Is that the lovely Hispanic gal that wants to collab with Lenny? If she's in the Greenville, SC neck of the woods, she should contact me, and we'll have go out, get a bite to eat, have some fellowship. I've been telling her I'm working on my Spanish on the Babbel app. She could teach me Spanish. What's worse for you, drinking beer every day or blasting cruise? One beer a day probably isn't that bad. Blasting cruise, depending on what it is, like some heavy hitters in there like Tren, Anadrol, D-ball. I'd say that. Now, like a hard alcoholic beverage every day or hard liquor every day, somebody drinking that, it's going to be way worse. Yeah, NAC secret sauce for the high liver enzymes. Milk thistle, of course. Himalaya has a product, liver care. You could do that. Ice Monkey 99, to be honest, Latina gals were always my favorite growing up in South Florida. Never had the pleasure of dating any, but that would be my preference. The dark skin, a lot of them, the ones that still have the traditional values. Julius Maddox at 515 for 15. It's pretty good. Excellent. Did he do 800 yet? Do I take apple cider vinegar or only for short-term periods? Oh, daily. I do a tablespoon or two of the organic raw before like a heavy carb meal, like breakfast. I take it daily. 675 for triple. That's pretty good. How much does he weigh? I know he's heavier than I was. Of course, Lenny will be at the gates of heaven. I believe that the bottom line is he's trusted Jesus Christ as his Lord and Savior. That's all it takes. Yeah, I just gave blood yesterday, Harold. I go every 8 weeks. I'm a universal donor, O positive. Goes to the little babies in the neonatal unit. I don't remember the wrestler Skinner. Yeah, donating blood, it's improves your insulin sensitivity. And they say as we get older, they say too much iron buildup, well, could be hazardous. So that's reducing iron levels. Who's they? Yeah, the blast and EQ will definitely raise your hematocrit. How do you get shredded for shows? Just sticking with the diet. I always dieted 16 weeks, did the cardio, made the adjustments as needed. I don't pray the rosary, Danny. I'm not Catholic. It's not nowhere to be found in the Bible. The Catholic Bible may have some books that aren't in, your Protestant Bible, but they're considered uninspired. So I don't pray the rosary, no. I don't pray enough. Usually the prayer I do is before reading or embarking on, like, if I'm going to listen to a sermon, I confess my sins to God and ask him to open my eyes to see the wonders of his word, to enlighten me. But I don't pray nearly enough. That's one area I got to work on, is praying more Thanksgiving and praying for others. Thoughts on how even people from conservative states are becoming socially liberal. Well, it's like a lot of the churches too have become that way. It's what was the guy, Yuri Bezmenov, in the 80s, the former KGB? It's people are just blind. I don't know, just mainly to spiritual things, but and that trickles down to your political worldview and seeing cultural issues. They're just blinded. People don't have a clue. They're buried in friggin' Instagram and TikTok and sitcoms and sports. I mean, I like some of those things too, but critical thinking is the other national deficit. I took hydroxyzine, Gilmore Dimegates. The first time I took a CBD oil with a high THC concentration, it gave me major panic attacks for hours. So I go into urgent care. I was like, I don't think I'm having a heart attack, so I'm not going to go to ER, but I got to go to like urgent care to see what they can do. And they prescribed me hydroxyzine, which is basically what I was told is like a stronger version of Benadryl. So it's an antihistamine, because they didn't want, this particular urgent care wasn't going to give me any narcotics, being I had something in my system anyway, and they don't prescribe them there anyway. So he's like, I'll give you a prescription for a hydroxyzine. So I went and picked it up at the CVS. And then my doctor said, try it for sleep rather than like Ambien or lorazepam. So I tried it and it didn't work as well. But it's basically an antihistamine. And they try that before they'll do like benzodiazepines, because it's less likely you'll get dependent on them, less side effects if you do, withdraw from them. Exactly, B. Paul went from a murderer of Christians to writing half the New Testament. People saw him at the time before he was converted, not seeing the whole picture that God does and realizing what he's going to become. So as dark as things seem, you don't lose hope. Stay the course. Stay consistent with it. Bible study. Hopefully you can get in a good Bible-based church and meet fellowship with other believers. Satan's firing his darts at you to throw you off, to influence you, to tell you to give it up. Who's Emma Geeb? Is it a sin to take gear? Not if you legitimately have low testosterone and it's prescribed as a medication. But if your testosterone's perfectly fine and you're taking it for vanity reasons. What do you think? I'll let you decide on that. I never took check drops, but they're very liver toxic, but they make you very aggressive. I think it was popular with powerlifters in like the 70s or 80s. Oh, they're fighting Saturday, Usyk and Tyson Fury? I'm going to go with Usyk with a decision. Do I admire Islam for their faith? No, not really. Maybe more than I do an atheist, but there's a good channel on YouTube. I think his name's David Wood. He debunks Islam left and right. It's called Apologetics Roadshow. Check it out on YouTube. He has Muslim. He just totally debunks the religion. Most of them, like most Christians, have no clue what's in their holy book. So, but they're a notch above atheists because they do believe in some higher power. In my book, the fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. Recommendations for podcasts, YouTube videos to listen to on night shift. I would check out. It's a very good Christian teacher, DTBM, Discovering the Book Ministries. The guy puts out several videos a day. He's so knowledgeable, explains everything in detail. So I would do that. I mean, even if you're not a believer, just listen to a couple videos of that. I like the Huberman podcast. What else? A lot of the other ones I listen to are like NFL talk shows. Oh, there's Dr. Todd Grande's got a good YouTube channel. Little like 15-minute videos. He's got a really good channel. Very good dry humor. Thoughts on Nick Fuentes? I used to watch him when he was on YouTube. I don't know. They kicked him off, and it's hard to find his stuff now. He was pretty amusing. I never got that they're, branding him as such a racist. I know the videos I watched of him like 3-4 years ago, I didn't see that. But I don't know. He's pretty tall, isn't he? He's like 6'5". But I thought I would watch his stuff regularly. I thought he was funny. Yeah, Muslims, for the most part, they have a moral structure. Very conservative. That's what gets me is about, these Palestine young purple head freak college kids that they don't realize that they're like vehemently opposed to them. Most of them would be, I would imagine, if they were thrown over there to live, and yet they're protesting and they have no clue about anything. For 72 years old, Harold, I got to tell you, you're knee deep in gossip and drama. He wants my thoughts on knee strap Nate's ex ditching him for a property millionaire. Which ex, the German girl or the Hispanic girl that he was last with? I don't even know. I haven't seen or heard from that guy in years. I thought he was tall, Nick Fuentes, for some reason. He's 5'7". Well, you have a legitimate reason, KJ, just like I have a legitimate reason to take blood pressure medicine. Yeah, you're low range T. You exhibit symptoms of, low T. So you take it. But nobody's going to convince me some bodybuilder, IFBB pro, that's pumped up full of crap and says he's a Christian, is living a godly life. He still may be saved, but what do you think God thinks of that? Same with Muslims. How often do I do dips? I don't really do dips anymore. I do pec minor dips because lowering too much bothers my shoulder. And they say bench dips are one of the worst things. Livia, the freeloader that came to Lou's party and ate up all his food, smoked his dope. Like the Jimi Hendrix song. Livia came to Lou's and drank his wine. Come and take his herb. Then bolted out with knee wrap made. Gabe the Street Preacher. Never heard of him. I'll have to check it out. Oh, Living Waters is good, OG Ghost. Ray Comfort. He approaches people in Venice Beach. Guys want to see Bootsy before I close out here? Where's the fans? Bootsy comes to Lou's and takes his wine. Comes and smokes his herb. Fiedelman fell face first when he took a toke of that dope. Take that and put it on your next video, you gotta be a freak. You have my permission.
Where's Daddy?
All right, maniacs, closing in on an hour. Just wanted to say hello. Hopefully I'll do another one before August. Remember, as the late, great Pastor Charles Stanley said, you reap what you sow, more than you sow, later than you sow. Obey God and leave all the consequences to him. And I'm going to leave you with that. See you, Chet.